What's going on, guys? Today we're taking a look at the Nipako Custom Architect Frame Arms Girl kit here. So two of the greats in the Japanese modeling industry have combined Nipako, the former mascot character, I guess, of the God Hand Corporation, and of course the signature architect kit here from the Frame Arms Girl line from Kotobukiya, and it makes for a fantastic little kit here. So we'll go ahead and check it out in today's video. Before we even get to the kit, just take a moment to admire the beautiful box art here on this kit. I love when Kotobukiya does this, where they have just like a real photograph of the kit as the box art, and they usually have just like a really nice setting with like the cutting mat and hobby tools and stuff that you can all see there in the background. It's a very fitting style for this as well, just being as it's Nipako themed, and Nipako being the God Hand mascot kind of character. So as you can see, her armaments there being like a drill and nippers essentially. On the ends of the box, we got the same thing there, Architect Nipako version. And on the side of the box here as well, just a look at what the kit is going to look like front and back when it's all built up and put together, and then some gimmick and action so that you can see some of her MSG weapons that she's featuring, and just kind of some different custom poses that you can do with that. On the opposite side, there's a look at your face options and water slide decals for the kit. The Architect, by her nature, is just normally kind of just this kind of aloof character, I guess, so the face options are not going to be all that expressive. What you can see down over here, the list price for this kit is going to be 5,200 Japanese yen. So if you've ever built the original Architect kit or any other version of the Architect kit, it's just going to be the same thing, with some MSG parts added in there, and I think probably some new parts as well, because the MSG weapons on her arms do look a little bit different from the original version. So it's just going to be a lot of white and blue here, of course, with those being God Hand colors. Here's a look at the water slide decals, which do give you a different set of eye options for if you want to make it actually Nipako, so that's interesting. So that's not featured on the outside of the box, but that's given to you there as an option on the decals. But here's the instruction manual, just with the same art there on the front. The Frame Arms Girl logo, Project Nipako logo there on the back. On the inside, once again, just some examples of different kind of action poses you can do with that, and there, Project Nipako down at the bottom. The next page features our parts list, and again, all those grayed out areas are going to be leftover parts that you're not going to use for this kit, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of those. The rest of this is all just going to be the construction of the kit, and then once we get to the back, there is going to be our color guide and decal guide here. So there's just, again, showing you how you can make the Nipako eyes if you prefer that, and then just where all the decals are going to go, and your color examples are listed there. So real quick, here's an overview of all the parts. So these are all the parts here from the Architect kit. These are all the parts from the MSG weapons, and then these are the brand new parts specifically for this kit. So let's just go ahead and go through everything. Here are the pre-printed face options, which we'll see on the kit in just a moment once we've got it all built up. Also got another little C1 part here, as well as another little part over here to watch out for, and then we've got our motor and spring part for one of the weapons. We got some polycaps, PC runner here in gray, and then in flesh tone for the Architect. Got our nice blue base piece. And then our hand parts in this case are going to be molded in black. So you've got the typical array of open hands, expressive hands, closed fists, holding hands, and all that. For the Architect, we've got the A runner, which is molded in flesh tone color. The B runner we have two of. One is in white and one is in blue, so we use some parts from one runner and some parts from the other. The C runner is in white, and we've got two of these for some armor pieces. Got two of the F runner here in gray for some joint parts. Runner G is some more pieces here in white. Runner H is some more pieces in flesh tone. Different runner H is some more pieces in white. And then runner X is some more joint pieces, as well as runner W here. Now runners A, B, and C here are from the MSG weapon 27 and 28. Runner A being in blue, B being in white, and C being in this injected silver color for the blade parts. For our other weapon, we've got runners A and B. We've got a set of A and B in blue, and then a set of A and B in white. So again, you'll have to pay attention to which color you're supposed to use for any particular section. This is from MSG Weapon 02. So there's the parts there for that. And we also have a runner C, which is going to be the claw parts for that here in clear. Then we've got our brand new parts. Runner I in white is going to be the part for the head there, of course. Runner E in a different color of blue from what we saw on the other runners. This is a slightly different blue color. This is obviously all our parts there for the hair. And then runner D in gray here is some alternate parts there for the weapon, particularly the drill bit part, which unfortunately is not in silver, which would have been nice. Alright guys, so here is the kit all built up. As you can see, I did do a little bit of panel lining. That's basically just to help you guys to see some of the detail, especially around on some of the white sections, just to help bring out some of the detail on there. And as you saw in the unboxing portion, there is a set of water slide decals that you can put to add some more detail around on the kit. But overall, I mean, it's a great looking kit for the most part. It's just the same Architect kit that, at least for me, I've built a couple times before. So if you've ever built any of the Architect kits in the past, the frame arms girl kit, then you have an idea of what to expect with this one. It's really only just the new colors and the new piece for the head and the new hair. It's going to kind of be the main differences, really. And another thing to point out is just that while it is, for the most part, pretty color accurate, you'll see there are sections where it's not. Like there on the body, there's a couple sections that are supposed to be blue, that are just white, and then a couple pieces around on the weapons and equipment or whatever that should be gray or blue when they're white and not gray or blue or anything like that. So if you want it to be color accurate to how it's going to appear, especially like on the sample images on the box art and everything, there's going to be some painting required. For the most part though, of course, you have all the detail there. It's just going to require you to do some masking. As you may have just heard, there is a motor with this right here on the top. You just kind of turn that and that part's going to spin like that, which is kind of cool. You do have a third blade for this. With this weapon, originally you're supposed to have 3 blades and they're kind of spaced evenly, but with this one they have you do it so that it looks like nippers, right? So that the 2 blades are across from each other like that, and then you just omit the third blade and you move this piece onto here rather than being on the back side of this part, basically to mirror this one here on the front. But among all your leftover parts, you basically have all the parts to make the exact opposite color version of this, because we had just 2 of those runners, and in order to make it in these colors, you have obviously the opposite colors on the opposite runners. So you have a whole nother one of these that you can use as a weapon or accessory for a different kit, for customizing different kit, or you could have 2 in opposite colors, or you can make them like one all blue and one all white, something like that, on opposite arms. But of course over here on this side, this weapon is also kind of spring loaded. You have a spring in there for your drill weapon here on this side, but you have the option of building it with some other parts that again came with the original weapon set to make it as a claw, like an extending claw weapon rather than this drill. But of course, just keeping in the theme of it being Nipako with the hobby tools and everything, nippers, drill kind of goes more along the lines of that. But if you prefer these claws, you got those parts in there as well, and they are in this nice metallic silver. Your other option part is going to be the original, which is just basically the same thing here, just minus the drill at the end. So it's just kind of this pile driver bit there at the end. Other option parts here basically just going to include these arm parts. So if you wanted to have some frame arms, actual like robot frame arms attached onto here, you can replace the arm with this bit, and then you can basically just plug any frame arms onto the end of here. You've also got optional attachment pieces for the knee as well. If you remove that, you can pop this piece onto there, and then you've got a hard point for plugging on a different alternative piece of armor or something like that onto the knee if you wanted to. And on that note, I guess you do have a lot of leftover pieces, some of them also including the clear parts for the claws. So if you wanted to use these, there's a set of 3 of these. Now unfortunately you don't have 2 sets of these clear parts, so you can't use them on like your extra and on your actual kit itself, but that's how the clear parts look when they're attached onto there. They do look pretty cool. And then of course our face and hand option parts. Now the one thing that I'm not really too pleased about with this kit is the fact that they chose the Architect as the design that they were going to do for this collaboration project, just because Nipako I usually see as being kind of like this bubbly or expressive kind of character, usually when you see her in different artwork. And the Architect, and as you can see reflected in the face options you have with this, is not really the most like expressive character in the Frame Arms Girl lineup. The Architect is usually just like pretty stone-faced, and that's fine for her as a character. But I do kind of wish that Kotobukiya would have opted for a different Frame Arms Girl, or even like a Megami Device character as their collaboration to do a crossover, making like a Nipako version. Thematically, I suppose it does kind of make sense to go with like kind of their main character of the line, but I do wish that, or perhaps some different face options than normal that would be a little bit more expressive, kind of would have been nice. Other than that, very cool figure of course, and just cool to see like the crossover between Frame Arms Girl and Nipako just as the kind of mascot character as well. And with this being a frame arms girl kit, there's obviously a ton that you can do as far as customizing this further if you wanted to. Obviously the colors wouldn't necessarily match, but you could paint to resolve that issue, or if you're alright with just having gray weapons. There's a lot of different weapons available in the Kotobukiya's MSG line, the modeling sport goods line, and that's what these weapons are from. And there's a lot more weapons that you could go with, or just keep bashing with other different kits or things like that. Or if you really wanted like this Nipako styled head, but on a different kit, you could just swap the head onto a different frame arms girl kit or something like that. So there's a lot of options there, obviously. But whether you guys are collecting all the frame arms girls, or you're just wanting to get one to try out, maybe you haven't ever built one before and you're thinking you might want to try one of them out, this is a pretty good option for you. It's a good opportunity to pick up sort of like a limited version one, and it's cool the fact that it comes with waterslide decal markings. Not a lot of them do come with that. I think it's pretty rare actually, as far as I can remember. So if you wanted one that would be a kind of a good introduction kit that comes with some really nice stuff in the package, I think it is probably a good opportunity for you to pick something like that up as well. But that is going to be it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you found it helpful and informative. If you were wanting to see a little bit more about this kit, let me know down in the comment section. What do you think about this? Are you excited for maybe future collaborations? What kind of collaborations might you like to see in the future between like different hobby companies or whatever? And of course, if you guys are looking to pick up the kit for yourself, we've got this kit and loads more Kotobukiya, different Mecha Musume kits and things like that at USA Gundam Store. The link will be down in the video description below, so check that out. If you guys do feel like liking the video or commenting, subscribing, that's all greatly appreciated. Thank you all so much. Until next time, hope you're all having a great day. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.